all sides. Like we had a weird hero for Gaimin Gladiators, Weaver. We haven't seen too much of. Now it's going to be the Necrophos, but Evil Geniuses. They just have. I mean, yeah, there's a Faceless Void on one side, but EG has Ravage and RP. That's a lot of big team fight that they're bringing to this table. What do you feel like they took from that game one and what they needed to improve on going into this game two?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing to me is, again, they want to win their lanes a little bit more, so they picked the really strong laning supports, and the Furion and the Tree. They definitely should be stronger than AA Tiny in a vacuum, depending on how these side lanes go. But I expect EG to do better on the side lanes. Maybe mid's a different story in terms of the Necro matchup. C-Smile's going to have to do his best to survive there. Yeah. That's one change, and the other is giving Pakaz a hero that he probably feels more confident just ultra carrying the late game, right? I think PA has a better chance of just 1v5ing straight up if it really comes down to it than a lot of other carries. Still the case even after the nerfs. So I think that's some of the things they've adjusted here, and of course, trying to answer what Gaming threw at them, which was, for me, a very unconventional draft for Gaming. Like, they got the Ace Dazzle, which has kind of been one of his heroes to supplement this aura builder that doesn't necessarily straight exist anymore, right? Right. It's a hero that does it through the spells in a degree, but very lane-oriented, which is something they've done throughout the year, but went away from for a bit. This is like, we want Dazzle to win the lane, and we want this Necro to win the lane.
I was going to say, if you're going to win this lane, you're going to have to do it through skewers and better body blocking. C-Smile doing a great job on the opening and a TP in blood. Okay, bye-bye, QUINN. EG will take the first blood. You're supposed to win this lane, QUINN, and he's already on the back foot.
The only upside for QUINN there is that Matthew took it, right? It did not go to C-Smile in terms of the gold, but damn, that is so nice for C-Smile. Didn't even have to spend any resources on it. Gets full wave here, denies, it's going to push into him.
I will say, counterpoint to that though, it is really dangerous if Matthew gets ahead, right? Earn early Spirit Vessel against a Necrophos. I mean, he's going to be looking at mid a lot, I'm sure. And if he starts getting those items, then QUINN's game is going to become so much harder.
It's a great Vessel game. I mean, all three of these cores pretty much rely on getting their HP back, right?
Yep.
And that's the upside of the synergy for Gaming, is the Dazzle with the Shallow Grave on a Necro or a Faceless Void is pretty devastating if it occurs in the fight, right? You get the Time Walk off, you get the heal off, suddenly that whole fight turns. There's no real anti-healing on each side. Vessel is, you know, the one thing they can have going for them in that area. And if Matthew gets it fast, it is going to be devastating on the map. I think this Tide Hunter, you were talking about the zones of control. I mean, that's another reason the Tide's here. Tide should find the backline or guarantee that the initiation precludes the Dazzle from getting the save off.
Sure.
It's an old school Dazzle counter. You go in with the Ravage. I mean, it's pretty hard to Shallow Grave the guy that gets gone on. You just burst him with the Phantom Assassin. That's probably what EG are looking for as this game progresses, whereas if you're Gaming, you want to go in with the Necro, frontline it up, and then get a great Chronosphere, ideally on the mag or like the supports. Just burst it down with the magic damage.
I was going to say, if you don't get him with the Ravage, you already got a second opportunity with the reverse polarity. Instead, Avalanche going to try and cover them here as they retreat, but the rotation from Matthew will net them the kill first on Ace before he falls. So 1-for-1 trade-off there, but ultimately the core dying on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. Matthew is having his impact felt, and you did say they drafted for strong lanes outside of this mid sort of situation that C-Smile. But Matthew and...
There's nothing you can do about last pick Necro. I mean, like, yeah, you know, like see what I was saying, the man enjoys playing Necro right now. That's absolutely disgusting. I don't know who enjoys playing Necro, but it will win the lane. There's just no way around it. That first blood definitely helps, but this is about the side lanes. EG wants to come out strong in the side lanes, and they're not easy ones to necessarily combat when you're going to leave the Tide alone, but that's what the Furion's designed to do. I mean, if you're going to pick one support in the meta that's going to win two side lanes, it's Furion. Or at least, I guess, you know, one side lane and one mid, but 2 out of the 3. Sure. So Matthew's rotation is super important for EG here, particularly
combining it. Toss back with the poison is going to be a big problem. They toss him back into the creeps. A big heal bit. It's not quite enough damage to burst down the Stream Protector because now they can make a rebuttal here. Slow down Ace before he gets away too deep into the trees and kill him.
And EG are happy every time this happens. It's XP and gold for Matthew. Pakaz stays up, extra gold for him, and they're shutting down Ace a little bit. Still, I mean, Ace is getting a decent amount out of this lane, so you have to keep committing to this. His TP is on cooldown for 20 seconds, and they brought Celery up here. So that's what you're looking for if you're EG. Get the Tide in a one-on-one, and you're looking at who's at the top of the CS chart right now. It's Whisper, who's basically been left alone in the one-on-two. Yeah, Gaming felt like they couldn't punish the Tide enough with an AA Void going into the tanky early ring of health with the start Whisper had. I don't know if Whisper start should have been this good with how fast Matthew left the lane, but damn, he is just getting the world down here. Solo XP, untouched. He's going to be big.
Now, I brought up the Urn Spirit Vessel on Matthew, but he's opting for the Medallion Solar Crest build-up instead, which is just as good of a build-up, but better for his PA and his Tidehunter. Big minus armor, but the damage. This tri-lane is dangerous, man. If you get a toss back, you're being pushed into a dazzle with an advantage, and he's going to be able to run you down, not just one, but perhaps two, because does get away only because of the fact that, oh, the poison damage. He does have the stick, though, and was able to pop it, but he's not feeling great about his position. He brings a little treads to himself, but he's going to need some regen.
This is the correct play from Gaimin, I guess. Like, you have to keep your dazzle in the lane. You can't just let Matthew 3v2 bully Ace out of this off lane while, you know, Whisper's doing this, right? That would be a death sentence on this map. I mean, you can fall back a little bit on the Necro Mag, but Necro's not necessarily the best mid to rotate to these side lanes either. Quinn just wants to play his own game. If anything, when you pick these dominating matchups like the Huskar they mentioned that's similar, you want supports rotating into you to abuse it. Very slick sprout here by Matthew. We'll get him out of danger as
going to be slowed down a little bit more, but I think he should be fine. Meanwhile, C-Smile is being punished heavily, so if they keep the pressure, another good thing about this tri lane, they keep Matthew kind of locked down. He can't help C-Smile out nearly as much.
I mean, there's no helping this matchup. It is not a helpable matchup.
And they're going to catch him with Tofu. They're going to make sure he dies, and that not only, they get the kill, but now Quinn also has his level 6.
And look at the tower. This is the catapult flag bearer wave. So this is what Gaimin want to do. They want to bring supports to the winning lane. They know they have the matchup. It's going to get a Tidehunter teleport just to defend this catapult.
Do we swap lanes now? Put the Magnus in that bottom lane?
I mean, you could. I don't think you want to, but
nobody wants to be mid, that's for sure.
It's an ego thing, you know. No mid player wants to give up on the lane, no matter how bad it is.
No, he didn't beat me. I can still recover. Because going to be in some trouble. Jumps onto Tofu. Tree Protector can only do so much here. Is he going to be locked down by the cold feet? Barely gets out inside of the range, and lacking that stun, they will not be able to kill Pakaz. But it doesn't matter if they kill Pakaz if they're keeping him totally outside of the lane, outside of these daggers. It's like the only CS he's getting now.
The thing is that, like, you're looking at this net worth chart, right? I think EG are okay with this outcome, just because the tide's going to be so strong, and you kind of got out of this Mag Necro lane a little bit. Like, this Mag Necro lane really could have been a disaster. With just mass rotations going in, creating a pressure point, this tower could be dead. I think that's what Quinn wants in an ideal game, right? So maybe he's getting 70% of this matchup right now. It's still very good for him, but it's not explosive, and it's not necessarily enabling the supports who could have gone there. Though, I will say, Tofu got a lot of XP off top. That's the upside of, I guess, Ace dying here. He's level 4 3/4 here before Wisdom Rune.
Yeah.
This is like a dream start for a support Tiny, who can do a lot of work in this game, tossing people back. Not a hero we've seen a lot this tournament, but a hero we have seen a lot over the history of TIs for a very good reason.
Yeah, you were adamant that he was going to come back for TI. You think he always comes back?
Well, 2 reasons. I mean, 1, toss is a hell of a spell.
Yeah.
And 2, I mean, FY is playing here, so.
Well, that's a pretty good point for it. C-Smile, Quinn is in so deep. Evil Geniuses, though, don't really seem to have a way to be able to punish him. He's just taken away this little hard cam stack that C-Smile had going for himself. And if he's not careful, Quinn might go for the kill with Celery nearby, especially Tofu. An opportunity to maybe toss Quinn onto that big Magnus. Panda, who's sticking around a little bit too long, does get spotted. He'll be the victim instead of a Reaper's Sight. He goes down, and Quinn gets his first stack of the game.
Gaimin making the correct read, playing up with this Necro, backing up and baiting the jungle. If the Mag doesn't want to lane burst, you bring the lane to him.
Look at C-Smile.
The stacking.
He's like, I got like 5 seconds to hit creeps in lane. That's it. Not going to be able to get the power rune, of course. Duraccio cut over to see if he can get the C-Smile kill, and he looks like he may just have him. Time dilation slows him down a bit. He can use the Chronosphere, but he'd really rely on bashes to finish him up.
How good are your bashes, son?
Can he get the bashes required?
Well,
4 hits, not quite enough.
They're
5,
not very good.
6. Okay, Tofu's here. Looks like they're going to cut off C-Smile. And hey, they don't need the bashes, apparently, when you just bring enough heroes to the table.
I was almost demoralized.
God, it was.
So he's like, surely I'll bash him.
Quinn, meanwhile, did get a double damage. Perfect time for that when nobody's in lane pressuring the tower. Yep. Again, against the Tree Protector, it does seem like Gaimin Gladiators really put a heavy emphasis on taking the towers before living armor levels are up.
The upside of a last pick lane winning matchup, especially for this player. Back to the top of the net worth chart despite the first blood shenanigans. Tower dead at 850 here, and it means early bots he can rotate. So Quinn's going to be pretty active on the map. He can join these fights, look for the Reaper Sight stacks, continue to enable his supports.
Now, with Whisper did recognize that. He rushed the Meteor Hammer. No boots, nothing else, just straight Meteor Hammer. He also took a tower in that bottom lane, so it is even in that regard. But it always does feel bad trading towers when you're the one with the Treant Protector.
So maybe another one of those games where it comes down to like how much do you believe in your scale, right? On one side we have the Mag PA, a true OG classic, if you want to frame it that way. You are going to scale very hard and hit very hard and farm the stacks really fast if you get the Ancient stacks up for Makaz here. And on the flip side, you have Faceless Void Ancient Apparition. I mean, this is a duo that goes back a long way as another stack goes into Quinn's pocket.
They get him, but they almost stopped Makaz's TP out. This top lane is in danger. As soon as the Necro shows up, you're like, no. Nobody wants to be there anymore. They immediately vacate the lane, but you can see Quinn, with his boots of travel, can play around the map pretty quickly. He immediately goes to pressure Makaz. Might even be able to get him too. Avalanche slows him down, and Dyrachyo shows up for yet another fight. Not that he's needed, but the help might actually be needed here as Quinn's going to keep trying to dive in. The heals are just enough. They got an RP. Skewer back into the tier 2. Throw that Ravage down. Finally get the punish on Quinn. Do not let this man bully you.
I thought that was just going to be a bad death for Makaz, and somehow it turns into they get the biggest kill on the map. It's a lot of shared bounty gold too because the whole team showed up.
Man, what a massive difference like 50 HP makes because lives and he goes straight into being able to farm hard camp stack, or excuse me, Ancient. So
yeah, this is nice. He lives off the living armor and now he gets early in power. That helps him clear through this at a much faster rate than he would have. Otherwise, when you're looking at the camp stack, it's all Matthew here. So now if you're EG, the game plan is just hold the map for the PA, right? Especially when you're ultra on cooldown.
Can Whisper do that for them though?
Pretty hard into the Necropose.
Yeah, when nobody's going to help you out. Now, fortunately, there is no Reaper's side. They're going to try and body block in Whisper. Of course, without a Ravage, there's no real threat of a turnaround here. They're just going to keep running him down, and they will eventually get this kill and start going for that safe lane tower.
This is the battering ram. Just continue to run the Necro into these cores that are not ready to fight him right now. Claim as much map control and space as you can. This is all absolute free time for the Faceless Void, for the Dazzle. Ace is just going to go straight to the Midas. You already have the Mask Madness up for Dyrachyo. So both the other two gaming cores, they're just not going to get touched. Quinn is way too much of a menace right now. He's going to make his presence felt. I mean, he's just running behind the tier 2 at 11 minutes. Got to be a little careful of some skewers here, but outside of that, you're not afraid of anything.
Yeah, and I guess this is the time to do that before the Blink Dagger is up on T-Smile, which I assume, similar to Game 1, is going to be his rushed item. I mean, he's got 1,500 gold in the bank right now.
Yeah, probably. You're just way too poor here. Your lane was way too bad, and you're not getting the farm priority to go some carry mag type build.
Yeah, when you're kind of like this far down, repositioning is probably the best way to even the odds.
I mean, right? Rushing Blink also doesn't feel great, right?
Yeah.
I think he's debating the Echo Saber into Blink here. Can't really blame him. You still want to be a mid-mag in this game because you want to tide to bring up utility.
Yeah. Is there going to be enough space for him to farm with that? Like, if he gets the Echo Saber, but you've got a PA Battle Fury, the map is getting good small pretty quick.
That's why they made the map bigger.
That's true.
Everybody has space now.
Well, let's see how much of that space Evil Geniuses can utilize as... it's funny, they haven't taken that top tower yet. Gaimin Gladiators have almost just kind of been like, yeah, okay, you gave up this space, and now we're going to slowly bleed you out. Nobody wants to be up there right now because it's so deep on the map.
It's just been Ace.
Bigger. Yeah,
Ace farming it up with very fast Midas. I mean, the early 2 deaths off the Furion rotation, kind of inevitable. You expect 1 or 2 of those. And since then, he hasn't been touched. He's just stacking up triangle for himself, going to town. It's going to be a very fast Dazzle Ags in this game. And until you have some of the Blink initiators to create the zone control, I feel like Ace can take over these fights. Which we saw in Game 1, he drove a lot of that mid game from the 15 to like the 30 or 40 minute mark with the Bristle.
Yep.
He was untouchable, right? He's trying to set up a similar situation here where you just force these objectives at a pace where EG don't feel confident enough to contest them if they're missing big items, particularly the BKB on Pakaz. You're talking about this Phantom Assassin with the mag, you can accelerate the timings, you can go for the Deso build, you can go for a faster BKB because you have extra damage. That used to be the staple back in the day. Actually, it used to just be you go Deso, not even the Battle Fury. Here he'll still opt for the Battle Fury, go into the BKB. And I think Makaz will be pretty strong with that BKB outside of the Chronosphere. That's where that carry-to-carry matchup is going to matter a lot in this game. Who can get vision for Dyrachyo to find the Chrono?
Yeah, because they have the stuns. They get that disable on Dyrachyo, then Makaz can probably follow it up and he'll kill him real quickly. But if he gets jumped by the Chronosphere first, then Gaimin Gladiators, have all the spells in the world to be able to throw into this one. You can see the Chronosphere into the Ice Blast are going to be one of the deadliest duos we'll see in this one. You throw a Reaper Scythe on top of that, that's just overkill.
This guy's bash is working, right? Just
Maybe he's saving them. Saving them for the late game where they may need it most.
I mean, they're not quill sprays. You can't stack them up.
Aghanim Scepter being gone for Ace. He's halfway there. I mean, when you already have the Midas, you're able to lower the cooldown with Bad Juju. So you're already going to farm pretty quickly, but once you get that Aghanim Scepter, you're just like one-shotting creep waves, then you hit a neutral camp. You just get so much farm so quickly. But what do you do with that farm? How do you feel about core Dazzle right now?
I think it's insanely good in the late game. Hero scales like an absolute beast. The deceptive part about him is he becomes a physical damage hero. With all the right clicks off the inverse wave and the talents going through, you get minus armor off the Bad Juju. It starts to add up. Zero can just kind of win fights out of nowhere. And of course you have, permanent Shallow Grave can always be a factor. You can turn into the pseudo Tinker archetype.
Yeah, it's particularly annoying for a carry that is so single target focused.
Yes. So that's a big factor too. Like, can EG find Ace in these fights without multiple Shallow Graves going off on big core targets, which are gonna guarantee big heal coming out. Like, Shallow Grave on Necro in this game is a problem.
Yeah.
It's a lot of extra heal, a lot of time that aura is just going to work in the fight. Heartstopper is what this hero's built around now, particularly with this Heart into a later Ags build. If Quinn's alive for 5 or 6 more seconds because he is graved and then dies, that might be enough to win you the fight, because it might force a situation where Pakaz has to commit in and you just get stuck there even during a BKB duration. It really is up to the big bruisers here for EG between Whisper and C-Smile. You have an RP skewer, you have a Ravage. You need to find and set the fight up for Pakaz so it works in that type of way. And on the flip side, if you're Tofu, we talked about the art that he had. I mean, you're going to have a fast Tiny Blink in this game.
Yeah.
He's going to be rich with Arcane Boots on top of it. So if you just toss one of the guys in, the fight gets very awkward for EG very fast.
Yeah, that repositioning, getting him away from the Dazzle is going to be pretty key.
And that Blink is finished at 16 on top of Arcane Boots. I mean, he's approaching C-Smile right now. And he didn't have to lane against Necro, so
that's pretty scary. Heart almost done for Quinn. No Blade Mail required in this game because he's really not receiving a whole lot of smoke from the EG side. They haven't touched him too much.
Gaimin just gearing up for their timing, right? You hit this hard on Necro, you're going to have the Ags on Dazzle. Your team fight becomes so strong at that point in time.
Gonna go for C-Smile, the Blink Dagger. There's that burst from the Tiny with the Ice Blast, the Reaper Scythe. It's just a guarantee. You only need a bit of damage. You get him down to close to half. The Reaper Scythe will probably do the rest of the work, but if not, it gets him close enough for the Ice Blast to shatter him.
That's number 4.
4 stack of the game. An extra 8 HP regen permanently for Quinn.
And this trio is, I mean, the synergy is just so good with the Ice Vortex going down, amping up all the magical burst damage. This is where AA feels great. That's why I feel like we're seeing this hero so much more. It's about the Ice Vortex, not the ult for me. I mean, the ult's great, but you drop 3 or 4 of these down in a fight, you have a bunch of extra magic damage going in. Even Faceless Void, that combo's existed for a long time because, yeah, you're Cold Feet procs, but you're amping all these bashes and Maelstrom procs.
Middle tower is under attack.
That's a good point. Hell, the amount of magic damage. And if there's anybody else to throw some spells into that Chronosphere, then all the better.
Oh,
Matthew.
Low priority game.
You guys suck. I'm playing on the high ground here.
I mean, we've all been there.
So he's going to try and pull the Ancients to him with Treants. That's pretty funny.
This is effective, but it's not that efficient. I actually don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he didn't pull the Ancients to him at all.
Just chilling, man. Just watching Pakaz farm right now.
Hey, oh, here comes the farm. It's coming.
Yeah, but the thing is, he can't kill.
Couriers are on their way.
I mean, is he really going to TP off a cliff to kill a courier? There's no way.
Oh, one of them's going to get close. Get that one.
He doesn't want it.
Oh.
Are you sure this is Matthew?
Yeah, this guy is the courier killing king.
Still on the player cam, right?
10-4. It's a sleepy game right now. Gaimin Gladiators. Very similar to game number 1, where they take an early lead. It feels like Evil Geniuses have already conceded to just playing for the high ground and playing for the late game rebuttal. But I do have to wonder, I mean, I've heard this phrase, play to win, not play to lose, so many times in the TI's history. I do have to wonder, Avery, is EG just banking a little bit too much on playing it safe and conservative here, as Gaimin Gladiators seem to have all the space in the world. Anytime they see somebody, they can jump. They jump onto Panda here, get that kill, and oh hey, look, there's a Tidehunter. We'll get that kill as well.
I don't know why Whisper shows there. I think that's, I mean, you just give him the treant, right? Unless you're ready to fight this with the Phantom Assassin, you're not taking the fight. Your lineup deals 0 damage outside of PA going in and joining the engagement. That's what you're waiting for here. Talking about what is EG's game plan, I mean, it's because that's what the team is centered around, and the BKB just got finished. So you gave up 2 big kills there in exchange for a Chronosphere. Maybe something EG is okay with if they can make a move right now and exploit it. But damn, you are giving Gaimin a lot of room, and when you give this team room, they build the lead quite fast. All 3 cores straight to the top, 7K net worth lead.
Yeah, you gotta remember, they're a Western European team. They will methodically take a lead over you and grow and grow and grow it. Heard from QUINN in that listen in last game, right? It's not the Barracks that's gonna win us the game. It's building an advantage and killing them over and over again. Evil Genius.
I mean, to be fair though, Barracks was what kind of won them that game.
It did eventually, yeah.
And Blink on Mag. So Z-Smile, he stopped off for the Echo Saber, will now finish the Blink. You got to get something going if you're EG here. I don't know how much you just want to rest on PA 1v5 in the game. I mean,
yeah, you can't say the game plan at 7 minutes is let's let them go high ground, guys. That's when we'll stop them. Hey, look at the courier play.
Yeah, there it is. The pentagram of Tormentor Death.
I'm telling you, man, it's so valued to be able to have a hero that can solo a Tormentor.
Well,
and Bristleback does that, Dazzle does it.
Yeah, for a Tiny Shard.
Well, Tiny Shard isn't the best, but hey, that's why you can solo it, because you didn't commit very many resources for it, right?
It's true.
And now you can get the second Tormentor at 30 minutes. Okay, there we go. There's the Blink Dagger reveal. Jump back onto Tofu doesn't feel very good at all. Duraccio gets a pretty decent time dilation. Overgrowth is going to be put to work here. Reaper's Sight doesn't quite finish him off, but they should have the damage, as Evil Geniuses really don't seem to have a whole lot going on here. Because tries to jump in, pops his BKB, immediately trying to go for Celery. This is just not working for EG. They're throwing a lot of spells, and not a lot of heroes are taking damage on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. It is all easily being undone by the Dazzle heals. Gaimin Gladiators are sure to be able to run down something more. At least Duraccio is trying right now.
He has Chrono back up in 1. He'll pop it.
Yeah, might as well. You just watched EG throw a bunch of spells around. It's not like they're going to be fighting you anytime soon.
He saved up all the bashes.
He did.
Put him to good use as he'll Chrono the Tidehunter yet again. That was a fight without the Chronosphere, which is why EG were looking for with your Blink reveal, a okay initiation, and your BKB on PA that yielded 0. So if you're EG, you are not feeling great about how this game is going, and if you're gaming, all you're really thinking is, how soon can we do Roshan?
Yeah, that's the worst part, is they built a second item BKB.
And didn't get a single
Didn't get anything out of it. You could have gone for a Deso, you could have gone for this slower route, and it does seem like EG, they said, hey, we need to actually, you know, we need to punch Gaimin Gladiators in the nose and make them hurt a little bit, but that one didn't hurt at all.
And they're still missing the Vessel charges on Matthew. He just finishes the Vessel. He went for that after the Solar Crest. We're talking about the anti-healing being a way that you can commit on these heroes without committing Pakazin himself. I mean, not if you're sitting at 0. It's almost time to TP into the fountain, like I always say. I mean, it's valuable to a degree here. Do not want to give an Aegis to gaming with this type of lineup, because they will push the objectives very efficiently. I mean, you're worried about like a skewer back, but not with how tanky your heroes are. And that Aegis will allow that, right?
Yeah, at least not for like when it comes to these tier. Like they can take all the towers off the map.
And then control Ancients.
Take second, third, fourth, fifth Roshan again if they need to.
Octarine done praise. He's ready to fight again. Ags closing in for QUINN. In fact, it is flying out on the courier right now. So 2 more huge team fight items for gaming. These heroes are just fully online, basically.
Now, they did just get a very, very small win, and it's immediately neutralized by the fact that we get a kill on Whisper. Managed to get the BKB charge out of Duraccio. Didn't mean much because it doesn't seem like EG are going to be able to fight, particularly not without Whisper. Don's still playing around, though. We'll see. Z-Smile tries to get the jump. They get the RP onto 2 on the Dazzle. Can they kill him fast enough before the Shadow Great? They get the skewer, and that's just enough. QUINN tried to jump in, give the extra heals, and he is doing a lot of damage. Remember, this Heart Aghanim Scepter, tons of damage over time, and that's why Bakaz vacated the area and just went for other kills. They're just going to leave QUINN alone, kite him around. They're doing this beautifully, but can they kill him?
tanky boy right there. You have another chrono coming up in 8 seconds here, so if you're watching the clock on EG...
Oh, he's going to jump under Duraccio. Knows the beat, and the time walk is down, but the gold chronosphere is coming up, and he gets him right on the edge. Quinn, he's going to help with the damage. They're going to try and skew him away, but Kaz is actually going to live proof, and then he turns around and kills Duraccio. But Kaz does it again, and TP's out.
What a mana from Picasso. He just believes in the crit more than the bash.
And what a play from C Smile to bring
bailed
Quinn
it
out of the range of Picasso.
Absolutely bailed him out there. Panda adding in the extra heals from Leech Seed. These are no joke on a high armor Agi hero. Flirting with danger here, but now you got a pretty decent team fight win, and you got the chrono out of them as well. So if you're Picasso, you're really happy about that outcome. Yeah, because the second your BKB's back up, you might just take another fight. And this is what EG are looking for every time. Find Ace out of position and punish him hard. You get the dazzle first, the team fight just opens wide, right?
Yeah.
You also
Especially you have the mobility to get away from Quinn.
Yep. I mean, he got away from Quinn. He killed Celery in the river. Yeah. Even more efficient here. If you have Reaper, this fight might look very different. But again, you're abusing the big cooldowns here. Something Gaimin have to be aware of in this. That's a big win. Kills a lot of momentum in this game. Puts Picasso in a much stronger position here. It stalls out that objective taking that Gaimin were going for.
You know, this was my biggest concern, is that EG was just playing too passive. That kind of play is what you need out of Picasso.
That's playing. You were saying, are they playing not to lose? That's playing to win.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely playing to win here, and it's going to set the Faceless Void back a step against the Phantom Assassins. That lead opens up to 2,500, almost 3,000 gold between those two carries. That's what you're looking for in terms of differential here to create the openings in the fight. It's a lot about this carry matchup in this game. It's been very close so far. Can EG open up something in this game too, where similar to game one, Gaimin have just controlled the map better. They've controlled the objectives better, have gotten more Tormentors, more Roshans, and they're looking to add to that total, and it'll be uncontested yet again.
Yeah, again, they have a way to do it pretty damn quickly. Maybe not as fast as game one. EG did just pick up an important item, the Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter, so now they have Blink RP, Skewer back into Ravage. Like, if they catch multiple heroes in one of these AoE disables, then that could just be the fight right away.
So the Aegis on Duraccio, it likely prevents EG from going on him first, but again, they are looking for Ace. All right, that is so much what it's about. Yeah, this team fight is going to come down to positioning. Where is Ace? How aggressive are you forcing objectives, and who do you show? And do you have mechanisms to get vision?
And that's why he's going for the Blink Dagger, right? So he can deal with that Ravage AoE. He can play super far back, out of sight, out of mind, and then jump in at the right time to get the Shallow Grave.
I mean, you probably even consider like Blink BKB in this game. Just guarantee you're not too afraid of this Ravage. Though you don't necessarily need the BKB. It is, confidence and positioning definitely wins you games. So how much are you going to get with this Aegis period? And how afraid are EG to fight into it right now? Because Picasso just finished a Basher. He also got Orb of Destruction. I mean, he is melting right now with Living Armor plus Empower on top of this Phantom Assassin. This is truly a buff your carry and let him shine lineup right now. And I mean, he's just firing on all cylinders. Almost has level 20 as well. Of his choice of a tier 3 token.
It's going to be scary, scary stuff when this PA comes on the battlefield. The Gaimin Gladiators have the advantage. 6,000 net worth lead. They have an Aegis in the hands of Duraccio. He's working towards that MKB, working towards the answer to the Phantom Assassin.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Scan on the triangle right now. EG are smoked. Gaimin know they're there.
Yeah, they know they're there. Are they expecting the initiation, though? Will they be able to react in time to keep you away?
Everything.
Keep you away. Oh, they don't have Quinn now. Right, the initiation comes in. The Chronosphere only catching the Magnet.
And the Overgrowth.
And the Overgrowth is going to stop the damage, too. Oh, the Ravage will be able to fall.
And
An absolute disaster for Gaimin Gladiators and Evil Genius. They will feast in this fight.
Quinn is
They're
back.
going to take away the Aegis. Duraccio's back into play. And yeah, Quinn's back with the shield room at that. Oh, a Shallow Grave just at the right time to be able to bail out Duraccio. They finish up the tree, but Duraccio fighting for his life right now. Great Avalanche to be able to cover him up, but the Shallow Graves are just
won't die.
He will not die. Finally, because deals with them, but the damage is done. Duraccio lives.
Ace coming up huge in a team fight that could have been a disaster with Quinn going bottom. Instead, just keeps Duraccio alive way too damn long. Wears out the PA-BKB, and suddenly you are caught in a man fight that just went on far past its expiration here.
Yeah, I didn't think a second life was going to be enough for Dyrachyo, but when he gets a third life and a fourth life off the shallow graves.
How many Aegis is enough, right?
Yeah.
That is why finding that Dazzle is paramount for EG in these engagements. We are seeing the power of this pick in this type of lineup when you have the leaps, when you have the Necro heals coming through. And that was with Vessel on Dyrachyo that expired just before that last Grave did as well. So you might have even gotten Dyrachyo post-back. This is just not what gaming we're looking for, right? You have overgrowth on the BKB Void during Chrono, and Pekaz gets to come in after all of it. But he chose to go on Dyrachyo here instead of Ace, where Ace is in the back.
Yep.
And then he couldn't find him because of the blink. So maybe Pekaz just didn't see him there, or he had the prioritization of the Void because Chrono was down. But damn, did those Graves just destroy the back end of this fight.
Yeah, the heals are out of control. When the Shallow Grave is used, it's amping up the heal, and that includes not just the Necrophos impact, but also the Time Walk impact.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, he's just like, whatever, man, you crit me twice, cool, but he already did his job.
Yep.
That was with a Reaper Scythe on a Treant.
And Necrophos not there for the first engagement.
And they still won that fight convincingly. Shows you the power of this lineup when it all comes together. And now you have an MKB done on your Faceless Void, plus the level 20 talent. So the damage just went through the roof here for Dyrachyo in these fights. And the items just continue to pour in. 10k gold lead. I mean, you have Matthew to make up some of it, right? Sphurion will always find net worth on the map if he can get to what I assume is an Ags being built up.
Yeah.
Pretty nice Ags game. It's very close to it. 600 away. That disarm en route is going to be pretty good here because he forces Dyrachyo into a tough position. This Sphurion ult flies through. Dyrachyo isn't happy. He BKBs, then you get overgrowth.
Oh, what a quick blink away from C-Smile right as Tofu tried to pounce there.
And this Tiny is still massive, right? You're still looking at Blink, 4-staff, Yule's Tiny for Tofu. So the control, the disable, you also always have that Jerax play where you can toss someone into the Chrono.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you're around the Chrono and not in it, you're not safe if you're on EG side. And once more, just run QUINN in first. Let the Necrophos frontline here with the Aura. It's pretty hard for him to get bursted. You're afraid of a skewer threat, but that's also what that Tiny Yules can interrupt.
Dire's middle tower.
All the itemization for gaming is hitting a really big stride right now. I mean, they're only missing that Aegis.
Dire's courier has
Feels like they run.
Oh, how's it feel, Matthew, to have your courier?
What if there's a special bit of mitigation you get out of that? Well, Matthew, I mean, very similar to game one. As you said, the Furion's going to be out on the map the whole time. He's also going to be cutting creep waves, which is going to be super annoying. And you're doing that with a PA who's always off the map in a way, thanks to Blur.
Yep. You're always going to find the side lane farm. Very hard to stop for gaming. I mean, their catch is also pretty limited, right? Is it even worth trying to catch them? Probably not.
All right, let's go ahead and take a listen into Gaimin Gladiators with that clutch move from Ace.
Blue. I'm dead.
Grave me.
I can grave you again, I can grave you again.
Stun in two.
I grave you again.
Bullshit, bullshit.
I can grave you again. I grave you again. Kill the PA, kill the PA.
Hey, great communication. Clear and concise. I can grave you again.
I mean, that's top tier Dazzle gameplay right there. I mean, right, what else are you supposed to do?
What does Dazzle bring to the late game team fights?
Grave.
That's what he
And grave and grave.
And grave. And more graves. But wait, there's more.
I mean, you know, don't hate the hero.
Hate the ability.
Hate Val for making the hero into the abomination it is now, right?
18 to 10, 12,000 net worth lead for Gaimin Gladiators. Very much a repeat of game one where they hold clear control of the game. They hold the map. They are much stronger in the fights right now. The question is going to be, how much do you need to be able to go high ground against a crazy repositioning spell? Last time it was the kick. This time it's going to be the skewer back. Evil Geniuses also have like more dangerous team fight. I mean, if things go really wrong for Gaimin Gladiators,
it can go really wrong, yes. Yeah. But their positioning and spacing should be pretty good, right? They don't have a lineup that needs to clump very much. They can have the Tiny go in. They can have Dyrachyo watch the fight develop. Ace is never, in theory, going to be seen until he makes his presence felt. Yeah. It's just the Necro on the front. Again, though, the high ground is just not easy because of the displacement in the Magnus. It's going to stall this game out, particularly with Living Armor, and that means how much can Phantom Assassin carry the game? It's a very similar situation to last time. Does Bakaz have the capability to 1v5 with a hero that was the 1v5 king in the previous patch? Does have his act completed, also got a Titan Sliver, which is just mega nice here because you're getting extra base attack damage on a hero that utilizes it better than almost any other carry.
I don't know what kind of read Gaimin Gladiators have, but I feel like they could take a lot off the map right now just because I don't think they can, EG can play the next team fight without a nullifier. Because you got an Aeon Disc now on this Azure. So there's pretty much no chance you're going to be able to catch him first in the fight or second, and even if you catch him third, then he's not going to die immediately.
I mean, Bakaz is definitely eyeing it up here. I mean, you have two routes, right? You can go this nullifier. You can also just play for the level 25 dagger talent with a divine. Play that type of game, which is something that 1PA a lot of games. You just play on the backline. You don't commit the hero. You commit triple dagger going in off divine damage. Then maybe you're not too worried about dispelling anybody because it's going to get insta-pop. Meanwhile, Duracho, he just wants to find the enemy carry here. He seems to know exactly where he is.
Yeah, he's just running straight to him. And Bakaz immediately has to jump over to see Smile, but not a great position to be because Ace is sitting in lying in white. Because they got to fully get out of here. Duracho, with his own BKB usage, isn't actually going to be able to pursue in the back line. See Smile, anything to stop him? Duracho can't get there in time. I'll take the ward. That's all they'll get.
Duracho had some god tier read of where Bakaz was or something. He just ran across the map into him. Breaks that vision, but cannot find the chrono, leaps the wrong way. So EG escaped for now. Gaimin running into issues catching them on the map. They're continuing to build the lead. Looking for Matthew up here. They're sick of getting ratted.
Double damage.
And they will find him.
Shouldn't have to use the chrono either. And no mana to use it actually, so.
Sprouted, but he time walks right on top of him. Does get it now. He's time walked though. Bakaz immediately ravaged into the burst.
And now he wants
that
more.
Kill. And yeah, now with the carry dead, they feel confident, but they got to be careful about Quinn. They found Ace though, but without Bakaz able to take advantage of this, they may not have the damage for it. They try and use the overgrowth the same, but it's already dead. Bakaz is gone, the damage is gone. The evil geniuses need to get out of here, but they're going to be slowed down to a crawl. The ancient apparition with the vortex, the toss up in the air, and the ever constant annoying presence of Quinn will just heckle evil geniuses, laughing him down all the way to the grave as they're going to lose 2 and maybe a third core. We see Smile being tossed up in the air. Gets in front of him, but he got a blink away to the side. Perhaps he lives.
So it's a carry for carry trade with a buyback on Matthew. I mean, Bakaz had the correct read, but maybe underestimated how much damage Quinn does on his own with these Vortex thrown down. I mean, Heartstopper did almost 900 to Bakaz there. That's enough to just guarantee the Reaper, and you gotta remember, his BKB was on cooldown.
That TP was very important from Quinn. They see Matthew, they're gonna catch him, they've got the Hex to stop him from TPing away, and the damage over time will complete.
It's a dieback. 7 minutes, no Furion here. You're missing the Vessel, you're missing that Ags. It's Wrath of Nature.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
70 seconds, we'll see him again, but yeah, opportunity for Roshan number 2. Cheese, pretty valuable.
Dire's
Necro's just getting massive, man.
He's got 4,000 HP, 37 minutes.
Absolutely huge, and he has a lot of charges too. That's the thing with the Heart Ags build in this hero, you're amping up how much this Heartstopper does. It's just so much extra regen from 8 stacks. What do you do versus him? You have to sacrifice somebody, it feels like.
Yeah. This is the second Roshan of this game, right?
Yep.
That means that Gaimin Gladiators have taken 7 Roshans in a row against evil geniuses in this series.
Sounds about right, yeah.
That doesn't feel like a great winning formula for EG.
No, I don't know the exact stat on that, but it's probably pretty good.
I have to imagine a team who takes 7 Roshans in a row in a series probably has a 100% win rate. But we'll see. EG has made some magic happen before in some of these crazy games. They tried to do it in game 1, wasn't quite enough. Gaimin Gladiators, very disciplined in that game.
So much depends on Bakaz's decision-making in these fights. Who he jumps, how he jumps, and when. It's not easy when you have the Dazzle save. And how much farm Ace has as well, man. He's full arcane blink.
Got him.
He is the tinker now. I mean,
Yep. He's got level 25, so when you get hit by the poison touch, you're not moving. And he's spamming out spells non-stop. He's going to get to level 30 super quickly because of this constant use of bad juju, lowering the cooldown on the hand of Aegis. On top of the farm, he's going to be cleaning up around the map, which just means the rest of his team, as you said, Tinker, means everybody else can play grouped up because they don't have to worry about the lanes.
yeah, suddenly Dazzle's a map mobility hero.
Yeah.
With
Weird.
no cooldown blink and the Hex. Never thought you'd see the day.
Got to keep up. Cheese drops for somebody.
It is why when you were asking, what's the late game look like for Gaimin? This is what it looks like. It's absolutely toxic as hell and disgusting as hell, and I wish EG the best of luck here. So it's getting to a point where you have 6 seconds of debuff immunity for Pakaz. What's happening before and after that, right? Not much good for you on the side of EG because your other 4 heroes are built around him cleaning everybody up.
Yeah.
And he can only do so much. There's a lot of HP to get through here, a lot of spells, a lot of saves.
I love how they keep on covering Ace too. The bots too, directly onto the Dazzle. The Tiny TPing behind him, just making sure he's within striking distance if needed. And you can see here,
very
Ace,
aggressive.
Yeah, Shallow Grave is going to be locked down. Oh, the anchor on him is going to be a problem here. Constant Shallow Graves. Can they get a stun in there somewhere to be able to stop him? Ravage going to be used. And finally, can they finish him off? Bash is required to use the RP. That'll finish him off with a nullifier put onto QUINN. He is also going to be in trouble. Ice Avalanche. Oh, the Power Size was just enough. It covers him and finishes off because QUINN will live as a result. And now the Chronosphere catches the tide right on the edge. It didn't get C Smile, but it doesn't matter. Jirachi will hunt him down all the same.
QUINN's just too beefy. Even with a great fight setup for EG, they just get completely shut down. 2 buybacks out from Gaimin. It is worth noting on the Ancient Apparition and that Ace Dazzle. That has been a massive problem for them. But Reaper plus the Heartstopper has just been enough to kill Pakaz basically solo in these fights.
Gaimin Gladiators are going to get so much done here. They do need to because they used some buybacks for that fight, but with an extra kill onto Panda makes things a whole lot easier. Once they get through this tier 3 tower, they don't have to worry about the living armor.
And Tofu has just been so annoying with these avalanches going off. The utilities provided, keeping his cores alive.
I mean,
That's a stellar game.
is EG just going to lose to Megas here? Because I'm not sure if they could do anything.
They have
with their
5
heroes as there are. Yeah, they've got 3 heroes with buyback, but no RP, no Ravage. I don't think they could take a fight to Gaimin Gladiators. I think that would straight up just be the end of the game if they tried to fight.
I mean, the other hope was, Divine Rapier, Triple Dagger. Pakaz just never got to it. A couple bad fights, Gaimin take advantage of it, and suddenly, yeah, your whole base is gone here. Unless you're willing to commit the Phantom Assassin buyback right now.
Does Gaimin Gladiators want to try and close it out right here? Because they might get caught on their way getting out of the base with this Megas. 5 seconds for the PA.
You have no RP, no Ravage. You got to keep
Needing
that
to
in
toss
mind.
up in the air. C-Smile not able to get the initiation he wanted. Has to BKB skewer out of it. That's not good for EG. They needed a good skewer away to be able to make this fight work. And now it's Gaimin Gladiators. Seemingly in the clear. Panda tries to jump in, hoping to be able to catch Ace. Doesn't
What's
quite
Ace?
get him. They're looking for Ace, but they want him so badly. Matthew's even teleporting in aggressively to find him, but Ace is already gone. He's out of there. Nobody can follow him in. And Evil Geniuses, they'll surely have to give this one up. In fact, they may even because the Reaper Sight's going to be used with the Ice Blast coming in. The toss up in the air, and that is enough. Another buyback available for sure, but the Megas are in, and Gaimin Gladiators are going to force as much out of you as possible. A skewer going to be used. Duraccio into the fountain. Okay,
Man, just doesn't
put
care.
that Aegis to use, I guess.
Because he can get Grave forever.
Oh, he's going to Chronosphere him, stopping the fountain damage, and there he goes. He gets both of those kills. Buyback's going to be used, but that's it. GG are
After
going to
the
call Gaimin Gladiators